Bunny.
Right, these are the bulbs in the pots starting to come up. There has been some chipmunk damage. A few holes. Let me see if I can show you. That's just a tiny hole, but there are some bigger ones. I think I covered them up. I'm gonna put a little netting on. That might help. But they're coming up, and they're starting to come up all over the garden. All right, I am on a mission to take back the garden from these birds who have been working it for, quite a while now. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to get a floating row cover over the row that has the rhubarb, because I'm not gonna have any rhubarb if they keep doing this. All right, so there's one plant there. Let's see. Here's another one. It's not an invitation. It's not an invitation, my darlings. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I'm going to get the floating row cover on, and the first thing I'm doing is taking all that straw off. Ideally, I'd like to leave it, but when we got it, it was super young, freshly harvested, and it had the little seeds on the end. So that will take over my garden if I don't get rid of that now. So my plan is to rake all of that straw at some point, maybe row by row, as we work our way into spring, into a big pile, and I'm gonna let that pile sort of slowly decompose over the summer into the fall, and then maybe we'll be able to use that straw in the winter. But for now, I will feel devastated if my entire garden starts to grow straw. Hey, grass, you know. So it's basically these. This is what I'm working against, and I'm gonna try to make sure that none of these seed pods are left on my rows. The next thing I'm gonna do, and I'm just working with a tiny little part of a row right now, but the next thing I'm gonna do is get my shovel and just see if I can get some of the really beautiful, that beautiful rich dirt that's in the walkways between the rows, just to get a little bit more on there. I am so out of shape. I'm huffing and puffing just from doing that, but look at that. Beautiful row cover. I probably don't have enough rocks on it if we had a big windstorm, so I'll have to keep track of the weather and then walk around the property and just look for some more rocks. But this should keep the chicken out. It should let my rhubarb start to grow. Let's see what's growing over here. We've definitely got garlic coming up. And this is a little patch of spring onions I left to overwinter just to see what would happen if you do that. It looks like there's a carrot. Excuse my rash. I'm thinking it might be the dirt that I've been digging in. All right, so there's a little carrot or something down there. And I mean, it just looks like the garlic has done really well. The garlic is in these boxes. I mean, these garden beds. It has been really soggy and wet, something that we dealt with last year in July, I believe. And these bulbs just don't want to be this wet. So I'm actually thinking of removing the mulch for a little while. Typically that's why you keep the mulch on, to keep them wet, but I think it's just too much. But again, this is just me guessing. And then in my iris bed, I planted a bunch of things and all the tags got messed up by the chicken. So I've got something growing here, more coming up. The chicken aren't supposed to be here, but they keep escaping. All right, so I don't actually remember what I planted. I know that there's a bunch of irises. So we've got, this one did really well. This is probably the best one. I'm gonna come rake the leaves off later. So that one looks really good. And then there's a bunch that don't look really good, but I think most of them will survive. And again, I don't think these want to be this wet. All right, I'm gonna just uncover what I can. So I'm just kind of making sure that the little, whatever that's called, is not under the dirt. And then I think we planted a few bulbs back there, but again, I just don't know. The chicken really did a number on my labels. We've got some bulbs coming up here. We walk over to my sweet little potager garden. We'll see more things coming up. I've got chamomile. That's starting to grow. This sedum is not meant to be here. I just needed a spot for it, so I will be moving it, but you can see that's coming up nicely. There's some yarrow coming up here. At least I think that's yarrow. I'm hoping that's yarrow. Spring onions I overwintered. And leeks that I overwintered. Something's eating them. Not terribly surprising. You can see right there. The chicken are yelling at me because I gotta go get them food. More chamomile. And honestly, I think that is about it. I might have, oh, look at that. I don't know what that is. I want to say that's a strawberry plant, but it's not. I don't know what that is. I've got to think what that could be. All right, and then last would be these winter sowing jugs. So if you look really closely in there, I'm kind of focusing it on that little green shoot in there. And there are a bunch. So that one was broccoli. This one, I didn't write anything on the outside. This one is Copenhagen market cabbage. So that's interesting to see where it is in response to the one I have in the house. Okay, my camera died before. We've got some greens in here. It's raining on everything now. This is the yarrow. I don't even know if you can see those tiny little shoots in there, but they are adorable. All right, so that is a lot of winter sowing, and I'm hoping that it produces really good results. Putting the babies to bed. Putting the babies to bed. Good night, Jojo. Good night, baby clean. Grabbing the last eggs. All right, I'll close the door. I'll close the door. Goodness, the rain just came pouring down. Next up, planting peas. That'll happen this week. Usually we say right around St. Patrick's Day. Peas and potatoes. Potatoes I think are gonna go in grow bags. There's a lot of fun coming up. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Appreciate you.